Pandas, 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 pandas. Good morning, my pandas. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hey, we just finished that pre-market show. Make sure you guys scalp that like button. Make sure you drop a GM in the chat. Fill out that poll. Let me know what kind of day you think it might be. Good morning, guys. Day trading. Good morning, JLV. Good morning, Money for Nothing. Good morning, Hugh. Good morning. Mark Lucas. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Zacharias. Avatar Powers. Good morning. Aaron FZM. Peter Cho. John Little. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the stream. Glad you guys are here. Carl Herman from North Carolina. Wayne Bicknell. Good morning. North Georgia Mountains. Welcome. Roberto from Chile. I love it. You guys are all around the world coming to this one single place. This common interest to get that bamboo. Let's go, baby. Polk, good morning. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Gilbert, good morning. Daytona. Man, Florida. What a nice place to like go and just retire. Honestly. Emmanuel, good morning. We do have news at 9:45, pandas. Please be aware. We do have news at 9:45 today. And it's flash services PMI, so typically it's big news. Even though it's at a weird time at 9:45, it could have potential to be, to spike. To have one bar that's like maybe like 15 points or something. It can do that. It can possibly do that. The news is big enough for that. Wayne Bicknell says, "What's up in Cherokee on the blackjack tables over the weekend?" It's North Carolina. Is gambling allowed in North Carolina? It's kind of funny. Like gambling's allowed in like just random places. Sometimes it's not allowed. It's just I don't know. I don't know what the I don't know why or how to decide that. Indian Reservation Casino. That makes sense. Yeah, closest casino for me is the MGM, National Harbor, DC. Oh, technically Maryland. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Iron Cruise. Good morning from my mom's basement. Honestly, if you live with your parents, I would be all over Apex. I would try to master trading. Not master, but I would try to get so good at trading. If I lived in my parents' basement, it's just you have no obligations. Like you can put it all in trading and try to get better. Obviously, with Apex, it's a lot better because you don't have to risk as much money. I'd be a millionaire if I would just stay in my parents' basement. Get in there, get back in there, become a millionaire. Zachariah still leeching my parents, not too far from 30s. That's a dream. That's the dream. I honestly, I live with my parents. Panda culture, it's like typically you live with your parents until you get married. It's how it is. What do we got going on here? It's very choppy. We got this push down, but you know, you're thinking another push down, but it's so choppy here. It's hard to really take a trade in this congestion. Coming back here, maybe back up to the top of back to the previous day's close, which will close the gap on the 5-minute chart. Jojo, do you have to manually close some trades in the trade copier? Sometimes. The trade copier will make you enter some trades on the opposite end. Typically, it hasn't happened to me in a while, but because it can happen, I do keep an eye on my. Whenever I enter a trade and exit a trade, I just make sure I'm out of all my positions, and you do have to manually check that. It's always good to have your like your control. What's it called? Control center? Do they call it control center? I think they call it control center. Yeah, control center up, just to see if you're in any trades or not. John Lias, how big is your multi-million-dollar house? I mean, it's an entire bamboo forest, so whatever, how big that is. Honestly, personally, I don't, I like living pretty much what my means require. Like I don't like to live beyond my means. I have a, and for that reason, like actually, I don't personally don't have a big house. I have a couple small houses, and I prefer that. I prefer to have a couple small houses than just like one big house. And you know, I mean, in my opinion, what's the point of that? Unless you have like a really big family. If I had a really big family, then of course I would have to have a bigger house for my family, right? For my means. But it's a tree house. Bill asks, "Don't panda lives in trees?" Yeah, it's a tree house. But when you when you do have like positions, you can close all your positions. If you right click your chart trader, there's a flatten everything, and also cancel all orders, right? There's two options. You can cancel all orders and flatten everything. Cancel all orders are open orders that are you're not in positions. Flatten everything, I believe, is when you're in positions. I think flatten everything does get rid of all your orders as well, but actually let me test that out. It's kind of risky to do this, but okay, let's cancel all orders. Let me flatten everything. Yeah, flatten everything closes all orders as well. Jojo, yes, flatten everything, flattens everything, every account across all your accounts. It's the same option if you go into your control center, and if you actually go to the positions tab, and if you right click in the empty space, there's a flatten everything option as well. And if you go to the orders, there is a cancel all orders option on those tabs in your control center. Pandas, there is news at 9:45. Please be aware. So we may get chopped around until then. We do have a second entry short here. Let's quite amazing, but it's so choppy. Almost to the point where it's so choppy, you think it might have a failed breakout, and this might come back into this trading range. Trading range indicator marking trading range here, as you can see, because it's so choppy. Trading range indicator up here, trading range indicator up here. It's just got so choppy. Which control center are you talking about? Control center is no, the Ninja Trader one, not our trader. I think there is a way to cancel all orders, maybe in Rhythmic, but I don't do it through Rhythmic. Pandas, we got 110 viewers, but 30 likes? Pandas. Where's the love at? Where's the love? I think worst comes to worst. Sometimes like you lose connection with either Ninja Trader or Rhythmic, and you can have some positions open. Worst case scenario is you go to the Apex website and then you try to flatten everything, and most of the time if you lost connection, sometimes it doesn't even work. But at least you can tell support here, you can see I submitted this this request to flatten everything, and then they can revert things back for you. I think the worst case scenario that can happen, because especially if you're like an evaluation, even PA counts, they can do it for you. So I would say, at least have that option. Be like, hey, like, I flattened everything, and you have my request. You have the time. They should have the timestamps when you submitted it, and they can, look at your positions at the time and the count values, I think. And I think worst case scenario that can happen if everything shuts down, you lose power to your computer, and maybe like news is about to happen, and I don't know, you got some doomsday scenario, and then you can at least like try to find some sort of mobile hotspot or something. So use your cell phone, go onto the website and flatten everything. I should add a ding 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 sound. Okay, maybe I'll look into that. Market just open, Pandas. Hey, stick to the plan. The steps are check market cycle. Know if you're in a trading range, right? If you start to get overlapping bars like this, just stay away from it. Check your market cycle. If it's uptrend or downtrend first, you gotta recognize that. So you have your bias, and once you have your bias, then you can make a trade. Here, like I mentioned, but it's right at market open. I'm not entering a trade right there. No, sirree. No, thank you. We do have news in 15 minutes, so I wouldn't be surprised if we just chopped around here until then. But who knows, Pandas? Who really knows? Maybe we may get a big move here. Who really knows? How are they gonna know? No one's gonna know. Got some old lines here. Let's get rid of these lines. Man, look at this move. Look at this move. Goodness gracious. I mean, we got a weekly chart and we're right back at this trend line. The problem is that we're retesting this trend line basically without coming back to the bottom of this channel. So we're retesting this trend line and basically kind of creating this higher low here. Looks like an inverse head and shoulders, right? Left shoulder, right shoulder, and the neckline. So we're in a place where we could potentially break out. This is the weekly chart. I don't really look at the weekly chart often, but I think it's a very good chart for the E-mini right now. Daily chart was at this trend line, same trend line pretty much. And we broke trend, made a new high. Anything can happen here, Pandas. Like, are we looking for another leg up here? Huh. We did have this demand area. Very interesting. With that being said, on the daily chart, what is this gonna give us? Follow through, made a new high. I mean, 2 strong bull bars. Daily chart, The daily chart is kind of hard to tell what's gonna happen, to be honest. Okay, getting a nice push up here. Like a very strong push up. You see how far above the 20 MA we are now? Strong bull bars. Weekly chart. Strong bull bar. Some follow through. Looking for that follow through on the weekly. All right. I mean, I like to look at the weekly because I think it gives you a bigger picture, obviously. And then monthly. I don't really go further than the monthly. Monthly is like really long term. You know, you're talking about like, you know, a year-long swing trade type thing. Good morning, Pandas. Welcome, welcome. Carl Herman, bets on the direction of new swing. If I were to make a bet, I would say fill the gap. 5-minute chart, there's a gap here. So whatever direction that gap is, try to fill it before making any big moves. But who knows? Who knows? Now if we already fill the gap, then all bets are off. Who knows what's gonna happen? It's even more 50-50 then. Yep, 9:45 news. Please be aware. You know, if you're in a trade and you realize I just busted all my counts, that's probably going to be the reason why. So it's good to know when news is going to happen. DJ Rocketman says, I keep track of all my trades. Screenshot, mark it out, and only take 5 trades per day. Max loss, negative 2,500, target 10K. All right.
10,000 tick trap.
That's a good trading plan. Or that's not really a trading plan. That's more like a cash risk management plan, really. Trading plan, I think, is a little more technical, right? Like when you're on the charts and you know your setup. Michael Ching creates the news. He is the news. Yeah, we got this like chop here. A failed breakout of it, coming back into this chop. Trading range indicator giving it to us already. Hardo, what news site do I use? I actually use the Apex plugin, but if I don't have access to that, Forex Factory is my favorite. It's just all there. It's plain. It's like on the front page. So I'm just like, all right, it's nice. It's nice. Just reloaded my historical. I probably won't take a trade until the news happens. But right now, the market cycle to me looks like trading range, right? We're going above the 20 MA, beneath the 20 MA. We found a push down here. Okay, that's the second entry short, but it's one I wouldn't take, right? Where the first leg is above the 20 MA. Making new lows here. Coming back into the trading range. It's a pretty strong push down, but we're still like within range, or within like the gravitational pull of this trading range. Coming back into it, as you can see. Feel break down, coming back into it. This is getting wacky now. This is getting so wacky. I'm not taking that long. Higher low setup actually might be better here. It's a trap trade. Scalps out. Not a trap I like. Not really, because I don't know the market cycle. You know, traps usually happen with reversals, but this is just strange. Trading range, in my opinion. We could be. This could be a breaker trend. Maybe looking for a new low here. Not sure. It's just all too confusing. We've got a higher low setup, which actually more enticing to me, right, to come back into this trading range. But the one thing I'm worried about is we have a breaker trend, so it might make a new low. It's kind of hard for me to take that higher low here. The 20 MA is acting sort of as a resistance, as you can see right now. Having a hard time having a body above the 20 MA. The body has been completely underneath the 20 MA ever since this push down. There is news, like I mentioned, in about 5 minutes. We do have a large gap on the 5-minute chart to fill. Huh. The 5-minute chart low is right here. I chuckle because it could be a big mama trade. We might get a big mama trade there. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be basically breaking the previous candle's low. It looks like maybe it might turn to trading range. I don't know. It's getting wacky. Like I mentioned, right? The higher low does trigger, but you're looking for a new low because of this move down. And you're looking for that new low. Now you can look for a reversal back up. Especially with the H4 setup. It might not be a bad setup to take because a new low was created. It's just not enough room to the 20 MA to take this long. But I'm actually looking for a long trade now. Coming back into our trading range. I need a higher low setup here. Best setup, of course, I think is a failed second entry short, but that's gonna be hard to come by in this situation. We do have news, so I probably will set up my policy. Even if we get a setup, I don't know, it'd be too close to news for me. And what I mean by too close, like literally, if I'm in the trade during the news, like it can literally, it can swing like 10 points, and really depending on how strong the market reacts, like it can bust your account. Even with 2 contracts, like it can really do some damage. I've seen 60-point bars on the 2000 tick chart. 60-point bars. If I'm 2 contracts at 60 points, that's what? $6,000. I mean, it could be $6,000 going my way, but darn, it could be $6,000 going opposite way, which most likely will be the opposite side. You know, how rare is it to be on the right side when something like that happens? Flash services. So this is what I'm talking about, the H4 setup coming back to the top of the trading range. I needed a higher low setup for me to feel more confident in that trade, and we never got the higher low. It just went straight up with the H4. It's hard to take that trade just straight up with the H4, right? Breaker trend, new low was created. We're in a trading range market cycle, so I'm not looking to continue the trend. Looking for that reversal. That's why I was looking for a long trade. But didn't get a setup. Didn't get that higher low setup that I was looking for. Instead, it just went straight up. Usually the market, with those like 60-point bars, it's like really big numbers, like CPI numbers. That moves the market huge. FOMC days, right at like 2 o'clock, it'll make the market move huge. Right, these are account makers or account breaking trades and or news events. What I mean by account makers is like literally with one trade you can pass an eval. You can pass an eval with one candle, and in those news times, you can also bust your accounts obviously too. But flash services, I don't know if it's an account maker kind of trade, but yeah, with those huge news events, the CPI and the FOMC, like those two things are like you get those 60-point bars. You'll get those 60-point bars. Got news in 1 minute here. And like I mentioned, if I'm going to choose a direction, most likely fill the gap on the 5-minute chart. That's the direction I would think is going to happen. But who knows? Who knows? The 5-minute chart, there is a gap. Regular trading hours only on the 5-minute. And this is why there's gaps here where you don't see them on 2000 tick chart. 2000 tick chart, I actually, have the chart with extended hours on. Relatively, it's pretty consistent in terms of, the price action. It just takes much longer for the candles to form. But on the 5-minute, when there's low volume, like the candles are just, you cannot trade those candles extended hours. Can you trade PA counts 5 minutes after? Yeah, I don't think you even have to wait 5 minutes, to be honest. If you have a setup, like you can take any trade technically. If your setup happens right at news, like you can actually take that trade, but I think you have to prove with some history. All right, news in 1 second here, and news just happened. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm not sure how volatile. I don't really know how big it's gonna move, but small spike down, some volatility here. Market's digesting. I'll take a trap trade to the long side if we get it. Right, we got 1, 2, 3 attempts down to break down. And I think if we get a trap trade to the long side here, I'll be interested. You also could say 1, 2, 3 above. I mean, from what I could see, this looks like some sort of expanding pattern at the moment. Right, it looks like this to me. I feel like we have room to get to the top of the expanding pattern. But I need my setup. I need a fail second to short here, and I think I would take it. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. As long as the risk isn't too large, I'll consider taking it. Clearly, staying above the 20 MA here. We're trying to get back to the top of the expanding pattern. We do get the second inch short, which sets us up for the trap trade to go long, and it's a bit choppy, but the risk is not too large here. Hopefully it will stay not too large. It's getting pretty large now. That's tricky. All right, let's attempt it. I'll try here. Look for a scalp. Came back to the top of this expanding pattern, staying above the 20 MA, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts down. So let's go, baby. Easy peasy, easy money. Ooh, almost got that 4-point on the runner. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Easy peasy, easy money. Just taking that 4 points off the runner. Got my 300. And we're talking about, within like a couple minutes of trade, and I could be done for today. Let's go, baby. Hey, I just take that scalp. I'll take it. I could have got more. I could have had a runner. But hey, I'll just take. You know what? I think it's because my runners, or the last couple of runners, have been just it's not working out for me. So I just took it. I just took the extra 4-point, that 4-point scalp, and yeah, it's delicious. Let's go, baby. Hey, we could be done for today, pandas. I could see why you would be scared to enter, because you have this chop here. But I think with these failures down and you had room to the expanding pattern top, the reason why I just came out of the trades because we're at the top of this expanding pattern. So that's why I just wanted to scalp out. I wasn't sure if we're gonna actually break out. We end up breaking out, but yeah. Let's go, baby. 300 again, pandas. We're back at it. We're back at it. Honestly, it's like when you get to scalp this early, now it's like, oh man, do I enter another trade and risk going red today? Do I risk another trade? I mean, 300 is pretty good bamboo in my opinion. 300 again, like I'm saying, if you have multiple accounts, 300 is a lot. By the way, pandas, let me ask. We just finished the 80% off promo, and hopefully you guys took advantage of it while it lasted. I really tried to encourage you guys to do it because now it's over. And the thing is, it was an 80-80, right? Like, it was 80% off the first month, 80% off the lifetime of the account. So it's like, now, like, if you have accounts, if you pass your evals, if you want to have more accounts, now you have to pay basically 50% off. You can pay full price, but there's a 50% promo right now, with BBM 50. But it would have just been better if you just snagged a couple of the 80 ones, and now you're trading those 80% off ones. But I'm asking, because I want to know how many accounts you guys have. I think it's good if people know, like, oh yeah, I have one account and it seems like it's so much. Or, someone might have 20 accounts, like, oh, maybe I have too many accounts. So it's like, I think it's a good, it's good to know, like, what's comfortable for a lot of people. Like, is it comfortable? Because with the trade copier, it's nice to have, or it's nice to know, like, what other people are doing. So a lot of you guys have one account, which makes sense. If you do Apex, you might not do Apex, you might do another prop firm. But there should be a 0 in your poll. The 0 would be just don't answer the poll. You got a second entry long here. I'm skipping it because we're above this expanding pattern, and we're getting wedged now between the 240 SMA and the 20 EMA. Doesn't mean it can't scalp. Also, the signal bar is not good here. It is a second entry long though. Don't get me wrong. A, B, C. And it could be, looking for a break a trend to new high. So you have some reason to go long there. Okay, you do scalp out if you take that long. So congrats if you took that second entry long. I'm not taking that because we're bouncing off the 240. So I've taken trades, try to trade into the 240, and it's not good. It's not good. I mean, you just barely scalp out, and now we're getting a reversals kind of set up here. If we stay above the 20 MA here, we may get another push up. This is starting to go sideways in my opinion. And make it a higher low setup here, but the higher low needs to also bounce off some sort of support. This is floating in midair. And we're right into resistance, right? Usually when these two things wedge here, the 240 and the 20, we start to consolidate. And honestly, oftentimes reverses off of it. So we get the higher low setup. Getting a new high here. So we got breaker trend, new high now. Zacharias got 1 PA and 7 evals. Let's go, baby. Let me ask, if you have 0 accounts, like if you're not, what's kind of like, what are the things preventing you from trying out Apex? If it's like, no, I don't want to do, I'm not interested. Just like, I think it's one thing to be not interested just because you don't feel like it, but I think it's nice to have like reasons, you know, if you are not interested. Okay, we're going above, and we're clearly above the 20-minute, and kind of like I mentioned, the 5-minute chart has a gap it wants to fill, and that's where I thought the news would take us ultimately. But right, the news actually technically is a big push down. Right, we got a couple points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 point push down right when the news happened, and then kind of reverse back up. To me, it was like 1, 2, 3 attempts down, and then a higher low. That's kind of like how I viewed this, and so I entered this trap trade, thinking we're getting a nice push up here. The second entry long is hard to take. Just the setup alone, it's not that good, right? You got a bad signal bar. We're clearly above the 20-minute, but if you trigger above here, I don't know. It's difficult, but it is a second entry long, coming right into these resistances, and it's a little hard for me to have taken that. Plus, top of this expanding pattern at the time. Now the expanding pattern, I feel like is being broken out of. Turtle toes. I took that second too long. Now I'm done for the 2 for 2. Let's go, baby. 2 for 2 is always good. We are closing that gap on that 5-minute chart. Strong bull bars. 3 strong bull bars in a row. May pause a little bit here, or may go straight up to it. It typically pauses in this area. DJ Rocketman says, "Can you please take a 100 contract trade?" You can't take a 100 contract trade on one account. On multiple accounts, that's like 20 contracts for 5 accounts. That's possible, I guess. We got the 2 turtles talking to each other. The northern turtle and turtle toes. Or maybe it's the same turtle, just different parts of the same turtle. I don't know. It's just strange why there are so many animals on this stream. Christy Andrew says, "Bro, this is not trading. If you stop because you scared you're gonna end red, this is pure gambling." You're funny. You're funny. Some people will think, you know, if you have a profit target, then that is enough, right? Some people say if you got one good trade, that's good. You know, I think it's the opposite of gambling, in a sense, right? Because you have cash management, then you can start thinking of. Right? Just because a setup is there doesn't mean you have to take it, especially if you have some sort of cash management, risk management in your overall plan, which I think will separate the kind of like the beginning traders from like the more seasoned ones, is that they have high priority, right? A big part of their trading is their cash management and risk management. Salvatore says, I'm about to pass 4 more evals, making it 6 PA until truly life-changing. It is. If you can withdraw money from 6 PA accounts, imagine with 6 PA accounts, if you made $300 a day on 6 PA accounts, I mean, just 300 times 6. What, this day alone, you made what? $1,800. Do you know any other job that can make you $1,800 with one single scalp? And end of the year, what, 600 or 6? What is that? End of the year, if you can make $300 a day with six accounts, $450,000 at the end of the year. That's insane. $500,000 pretty much. But yeah, like I mentioned, typically when you hit your head on the 240, you reverse. So we got the break trend new high. No setup though. I'm not going short here. In fact, I thought it was going to go up a little bit further to fill that gap. We never really got there. I thought we were going to pause here if anything, but instead we reversed down. So let's see here. Let's see what happens. Not sure. Not entirely sure. You can also consider this a failed breakout of this expanding pattern. There's many ways to look at this. I'm gonna keep it like this. This is a little too messy. I really just see this as a reversal. Break a trend, right? Second attempt up, right? Basically a two-legged. The reason why we look for the break a trend to new high is because on the higher time frame, what does that mean? The 10,000 tick chart is just a two-legged move. A, B, C, top of the trading range on the 10,000 tick chart, right, with the trading range indicator, reverses. So this is why we look for the break a trend to new high on the 2,000 tick chart, because on a 10,000 tick chart, it's just a two-legged move. And sometimes you don't even have to make a new high. You just need to make, right, an attempt, and that attempt will still be like a lower high on the 10,000 tick. 5-minute chart as well, right? We're in the trading range, top of the trading range back to the bottom of the trading range on the 5,000 tick chart, or 5-minute tick 5-minute tick chart. No, speak English. English hard. All right, we got 2 legs down now. 10,000 tick. Top of the trading range back to the bottom of the trading range. It looks like we're making a new low here, right? Reversing all of that move up in like one motion down. I can't take this short, too far away from 20 MA. But if those who think this is a really strong move down may want to take it. Maybe I could look for a second entry short here, but tough. I just think on the 10,000 tick chart, we're in the bottom of the trading range. Even though it's a strong move down to it, you know, you're thinking one more leg down after a strong move like this. This is a 5-minute chart. By the way, if you want to know what time frame I'm looking at, look at the top right of your screen. You can see. Trap does trigger a little closer to 20 MA, but still too far for me. You know, for me, it's like you have to be so precise when it comes to scalping. It's like even things like this, like where I'm like, okay, like it really does seem like there's another leg down. It doesn't seem like this move down is done. It's such a strong move down, and we got a, you know, first entry here. I might as well just try to take it, but yeah, it's just too risky for me. Even though there's a chance, it's just, you know, even if it's like a 70% chance to make it, it's too risky. Even though there's a high probability chance, still too risky, right? You need to be like up to 80 to 90% sure that's going to work out. And I've seen these not work out many times. So it's just, to me, like it works out here. It does scalp you out. But it's not a trade I like. You know, I need to be close to some sort of resistance here if I'm going to go short. And that is what it was missing in this setup, right? We just didn't get, like, if this looked like this, right? Second entry. Fail second entry long, and it's like now if it was like this, I'll be like, yes, I'll like to take this trade. But you know, this, you know, it's just way too far away from the 20 MA, right? Way too far from any type of resistance to really trade off of. So if it was a little closer to 20 MA, that would be nice. It's just too far for me. too risky. The 10K chart did show, right, a second entry short here. Maybe looking for a new low at this push down. I'm not sure. But, I mean, that's a lot of risk. Signal bar not looking too good. So, even though it's a second entry short, it's a hard one to take. I wouldn't take it. I honestly would take the trap trade here on the 10,000 tick. That's what I would feel more confident taking in this situation, right? You're above the 20 MA, right? Making a break of trend to new low, looking for a reversal back up to, you know, the previous day's close. Kind of makes a lot of sense right there to take a trap trade here on the 10,000 tick. This is a little risky. It's hard. It's kind of hard to have known that this was gonna be just a strong move down. We do have a second entry short forming here. Do I like it? Honestly, I don't know. A, B, C, second entry short. I mean, you could already have a break of trend to new low here. Hard for me to take. I don't think I can take it. Taro Jorge says, why have more account if you can enter with more contracts? Just asking, new here. Okay, so we do have a second entry short for me here. Would you take it, Pandas? Would you take this trade? Second entry short is about to trigger. The risk is not too large. It's about 2 points. Well, 2.5 points if you consider the, you know, one tick above and below. It does trigger. It could be a nice trade. I'm skipping it because it feels like we have a break of trend to new low already here. And sad I skipped it. It looks like it's gonna scalp you out. It does give you a perfect scalp. Doesn't, so you can still be trapped. I think it might give you absolute scalp. You can see with the yellow box here, this gold box is a perfect scalp, right? 2 points exactly. So that means you can still be trapped here, right? This could still be a trap trade. You're still in trap city, right? Doesn't mean it's because in real trading, there's a Q. All right, so that's an absolute scalp, right? 6 ticks is an yeah. That one extra tick is an absolute scalp. Big push down. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it really depends on how you want to mark this, right? You can say like this, break a trend to new low. So you're not looking for a new low, but now with that new information, this is break a trend, looking for that new low, getting back to the bottom of this expanding pattern, making a new low here of the day. So hard to have known that. You know, for me, it could have gone either way there. Yeah, I don't know. It is a second entry short there, but the risk wasn't too large. I don't know. It really depends. Like, I like to be on the safer side, of course, right? And I could have seen this as a break of trend to new low. I could have seen it like that, but it ends up being like this. At the time, hard to tell. I'm gonna take the safer option if it's ever presented to me. Yeah, so the reason why you want multiple contract or multiple accounts rather than trading multiple contracts in one account is because of the trailing threshold. So you can spread your risk around, and you can spread your risk around if you have more accounts. That's why it's actually very important, because the main thing about prop firm accounts it's not actually making money. It's not hitting that threshold. It's lasting as long as you can, really. And you know, if you have like an account and you haven't busted it and it's like 6 months in, I would say you're doing well. You're doing well. You're at least coming at a break even, or you know, like the most important thing is just not to bust your accounts when it comes to prop firms. That is the most important thing. So spreading that risk around is very important, right? 2 contracts on, like, let's say a 50K account, right, with a trading threshold 2,500, that is way more risky to trade than 1 contract on 2 50K accounts. That trade just made me 4K. Let's go, baby. Congratulations. I'm glad you took it. I'm glad you didn't take my advice, but I don't know. For me, if there is like any reason to maybe not go, I honestly, and also if it was like a better signal bar and if I had a kind of a better setup, then maybe I'll be more enticed. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to take. But that's a second short for sure. A, B, C, and then we got that new low. Good spot for reversal in my opinion. We're still within the trading ranges, 10,000 tick chart and also the 5-minute chart. You can see as a trading range continues to form here, that means it's still within its, right, that means it's still valid. Getting a strong push above 20. This is like a perfect place for a trap trade. This is looking so juicy for a trap. Like I hope it happens. I hope I get my setup. I want to fail second entry short. There's already a hidden second entry short, maybe possibly here, but with this move down, it could be a hidden second entry short with a higher low setup. And I like to find the technical ones, but I don't know if we're gonna get it. Like if I'm really eager, right, this is what I'm looking for at this point. Something like this. I mean, it could even break above, right, and give me something like this, right? Fail second entry short in this area is beautiful. I think it's a setup that I would feel very confident about if we get it. So confident that I feel like even a second entry long here may be good, or a higher low setup. I may even take it with a higher low setup here, but that would be me being eager. It would be more risky. The better setup is the failed second entry short here. And if there's a better setup, I'll wait for it. But the obvious downside to that is I might not get my setup, where here I will, you know, it's a higher chance for this setup to trigger. Yeah, the fail second entry short here is such a good setup. I'll have to wait for my setup. I'm not gonna take it. The thing is, like, you can consider this like a failed, like already a second entry short, right? A hidden second entry short, because you see this bear bar here. You can see that as a potential like reversal. So we got the second entry long triggered, higher low setup. It's a setup that I would like if I was to go long, but there's a better setup around the corner. If we get it, I'll take it. And you know, the higher low already, you're about to scalp out. Perfect scalp. You scalped out already with that higher low, which is a setup that I liked. Like I was considering. You know, you can, like I mentioned, this could be a trap trade. It's a hidden trap at this point, right? Because it's a hidden second entry short. So, but my setup might come here. I might enter this trade far away from 20 MA, which is super annoying. I can still enter this. Retracement, possibly. Retracement here. Okay, I'm too scared. My setup actually does happen with the outside bar reversal, which is also annoying. I actually don't like the outside bar reversals, and I wish that this actually went down a little bit further to tap off the 20 MA. That would have been like a perfect setup. So that made me a little hesitant here. Come with a retracement if you want. But now it's looking like a failed reversal because this trap doesn't really get that far. You come with a retracement at this point, but I'm going to sit on my pause here. Now I like to come at least to some sort of support area. Right, a second entry long possibly here would be nice. Maybe I'm being a little too stingy. Looks good for the longs. Looks like we're gonna get like a nice push up here. Like a really nice push. Like I said, I want to take a trade off of the 20 MA if possible. If possible. A second entry long would be ideal. A, B, C, something like this. I'll take it. The reason why I didn't take this long is because I was hesitant because we're far away from 20 MA. Outside bar reversal. Now starting to get a little choppy here. And any outside bar reversal, it's just immediately it's a 2-bar trading range. So it could be the beginnings of a trading range. Definitely getting choppy here now. Inside bar. It's hard to see, but it's an OI pattern. Break above here. Very good chance we get a nice push up, but I'm waiting for my setup. I'm waiting for my setup here. Give me a second entry long off the 20 MA. Come on, come to Papa. Come to Papa. No! No, don't do it. Don't go without me. It looks so bullish. It looks so bullish. Oh, it looks so bullish. Got a micro quad top now. Interesting. But, I just broke above it. It's going to go without me. I'm going to miss the boat here. Sorry, Pandas. Big push up. That's what I thought. Looks so bullish. But it's not a setup. It's just not there. Like, Pandas. I mean, you can see there's a second entry short, maybe like this. Even hidden second entry short. Smaller time frame that most likely is a hit second entry long. Sorry, I mean second entry long. That's the push up. It looked so bullish. It looked so bullish. But I was patient. I wanted to wait for my setup. I wanted to actually create some sort of second entry long. Instead, it did this really tight consolidation, probably on the 400 tick. That might have been a second entry long here on the 400 tick. Just an explosive move once that triggered, which is what I was looking for. But darn, it just looked so bullish. It looks so good. At the end, this trap did work out for you, but it started getting choppy, started getting 50-50. I was thinking, okay, you know, like maybe this is a good opportunity to enter if we actually have a nice pullback back to the 20 MA. That would be the setup I was looking for, but instead, market was being stingy, didn't give us our setup, and it just gives us this triangle and just Shoryuken just explodes to the top side. And like when you look at this, you're like, oh man, this looks like it's gonna explode. It looks like it's about to just erupt. And I just wish I had my setup. I would have entered it. Unfortunately, it didn't give me my setup. It is what it is, Pandas. We'll move on to the next one. Darn. It makes me feel like maybe my historical, maybe there is a setup on the, my historicals changed. No. What a move. Seems like a lot of you guys have 1 to the 2 to 5 range on the prop firm accounts, and I think that's a good beginner if you're like just beginning. That's good to have. 1 to 2 when you're just beginning. You know, when you have up to 5, it's when you start to thinking like, okay, I can start doing this full time. When you have up to 10 or plus more, that is like you are at a place where you're just like, yeah, you're a very confident place at that point. Confident trader, in my opinion. How do I chart this? That's a question. Yeah, spike and channel overshoot, maybe. Spike channel overshoot. Looking for undershoot now. What's my next setup? Am I looking for another second entry long? Only if we have this undershoot. Man, but this is the way I'm looking at it, right? Striking channel overshoot. Looking for an undershoot now for some symmetry. Undershoot just happened, and it could lead to a reversal. Could lead to a reversal here with a double top, but yeah, this expanding pattern basically looks like this now. I hate expanding patterns, by the way. They're the hardest to trade. Second entry long. Another second entry long here. But we already have an overshoot now. Hitting top of the expanding pattern. It's hard for me to go long here. Hard for me to go short as well, just because I feel like we're bullish still. Darn. What a setup. What a trade. I mean, I wouldn't have entered it because I didn't get my setup. But man, like, you know, it's like when you're reading the price action, you're like, this looks so bullish. It looks like it's gonna explode. I was already calling it when I saw this. I was like, oh, I really want to get in. And it's kind of like that feeling. It's like, man, I really want to get in this, but I only want to get in with my setup, but it feels like it's gonna go without me. That feeling you have, it's like that's the feeling. Such a strong feeling that was gonna happen. And it did. So maybe that's just maybe the price action reading is becoming intuitive to me at this point. That would be beautiful. That would be nice if I get to that point. It becomes like second nature almost. That would be nice. I would love for price action reading to be second nature for me. I think that's the goal, right? That's the goal you want to get to. Keep practicing, keep reading every chart, keep reading every bar, seeing what it means, right? Seeing how far down this went. You see how there's like a little gap here? I noticed this gap actually. Made me like it made it feel very bullish. Right? There was a gap here from the breakout here, and when it retraced, it didn't actually come to fill that gap. It might fill the gap now, but it didn't fill that gap, so maybe made it feel very bullish to me. I just wish we had another touch off the 20 MA, and then that would have been very nice. Second entry long does trigger here, but we're way beneath the 20 MA. We do have some symmetry now, so we can get another push up. Am I gonna take the trap trade to the downside? I'm not gonna take it, but I can see why you would want to, but I personally I'm not gonna take it. I'm not gonna take this. I'm kind of bullish right now. That's why. Some bullish bias. So I'm not gonna take even if a trap here. If anything, I'd maybe take the failed trap, but maybe even that, I don't know. Josiah says, "Don't worry, Panda. That just means you live to take another trade. You're confident. Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Long-term thinking. You can always attribute everything to long-term plan. Yes. Yes. I blew $100,000, but it's part of the long-term plan. It's part of the long-term plan." We have the trap trade here. It's getting a little choppy. And at this point, I'm actually looking for a new low. So even if this triggers and it kind of goes back up, it might create a second entry short to make a new low here. Hard for me. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit on my pause here. I'm gonna skip this trap. I may take a second entry short here actually, if we get one. But other than that, this is a hard trade. This is like not. I don't feel very confident at all in this area. All right, trap does trigger with a pretty nice signal bar actually. So I understand why you want to take this short. I actually want to kind of take this short, but I'm going to skip it just because I think we're bullish now. And so I'm not necessarily looking for a short trade. We do have that symmetry, right? We could possibly retest the top. Maybe with a double top, I'll probably be more interested going short there. But I mean, this kind of created a double top here. I would completely understand why you would take this trade. It's just I'm not gonna take it. I might take a second entry short here though, if it does trigger. I might not even get one. This trap trade may work. It's looking good if you're short. Very good. I think you scalped out right there. Yep. Good. I would completely understand why you take the trade. I mean, I was really thinking about it, but yeah, it's just too soon. It's just too soon. We get this reversal, big push up, and then we get this push down. It's a little too soon for me. Oftentimes you do get a retest, right, of these overshoots. So there was a possibility, but this is also a trade you can take, right? An overshoot, right, leading to reversal. And it's a good setup, good signal bar, good placement right beneath that 20 MA, like snug right under there. So it's a good setup in itself. Context wise, I thought maybe we might get a push up. I was thinking if it was a second entry short, I'll take it, but yeah, I just didn't feel confident enough. But it ends up being a nice little scalp right there if you were taking it. So congrats. And it bounces off this gap that didn't get filled. Now the gap got filled. You see this little gap here? When I say gap, this is an Al Brooks gap. And you usually look for a breakout. And that breakout, you want to find the signal bar, the extreme of the signal bar, and the extreme of the pivot, right, of the first pivot, and see if there's a gap there. You see this pivot here? There's a gap from here to here. It's a 2-tick gap, but it's a gap nevertheless, and it just got filled and now pushed off of it. You can also consider this a type of, right, some sort of demand zone, and I think they're one and the same, to be honest. And that's why I'm looking for supply and demand. That's something. That's why I would be interested in supply and demand, because it's very akin to Al Brooks gaps. Pretty much the same concept. Except here you draw it like this, here you draw it like this. So that gap got filled, and now we're pushing off of it. I'm looking for a long trade here, pandas. Maybe a higher low, maybe a second entry short or second entry long. Let's see if we get some good movement above the 20 MA here. But the 5-minute chart looks kind of bearish. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you get it like this, kind of big wick. If we make another wick here, make a second entry short, it kind of looks bearish in my opinion. Second entry short on the 5-minute chart. I don't know. Yeah, just ignore it. Don't even think about it. Just focus on 2K chart. Don't even think about it. Yeah, forget I said anything. There's no bearishness here. Jay Mandani says, was up 700 on runner, came back and stopped me for 125. Ah, that sucks. That sucks. I know the pain. I know the pain. I guess the question is, how could you have managed that runner any different? You know, if you stuck to your plan, I don't even feel bad for that, because you stick to the plan, and you know that was potential of it going way higher, right? If you stuck to the plan, you end up getting stopped out like that. It's just, you know, you're paying for the risk reward and probabilities. We got the higher low setup here. Not strong enough for me. I need a second entry long, I think, for me to go long here. I see a break of trend to new low, bouncing off that support area. Let's see if we get another push up here. Right, what I'm looking for now is a second entry long. I doubt I'm gonna get it, but it could be it could look like this. It could, but it's so tight it could end up being just choppy. Pay attention to the market cycle, pandas. Are we in the trading range? Uptrend, downtrend? First, you got to answer that question before entering any trade. Right now, it does look like, right, this expanding pattern, trading range. In the immediate context, I feel like we already had this break of trend new low, bouncing off a nice support here. Right, just fills that gap, bounces off of it strongly, and now we may get a nice setup here to go long if we can get it. Higher low setup here. It's not good enough for me. I would want that second entry long, but or maybe even a trap trade. I'll take the trap here. Fail second entry short. That's enough reason for me to go long, I think. $240 SMA. Every time we attempt to break out of it, we've been knocked back down. Okay. You know, now the 5 minutes looking a little bullish. The strong bull bar ending on its high. Failed trap on the 5 minute chart. Give me a trap here. I'll take it. I'll take it, pandas. I'll take it. And I'll risk going red today. But if we get a good setup here, I'm gonna try. I've been patient, looking for a retest of this high here. If the signal bar is not too large, and what is happening here? I'm definitely not trading against this bar. Now we're beneath the 20 MA. It doesn't look good for me. Skipping it. Skip it. Man, it looks a little too choppy for me now. I'm setting my pause. It just looks a little too like strong bear bar than strong bull bar. It looks a little too choppy. I like the context. I like the fact that this is a good place for reversal, bouncing off this demand area and coming off, pushing off here, right? Fill that gap perfectly and pushing off. The one thing I don't like is how choppy we're getting here, right? Strong bear bar, strong bull bar, and even here, lots of back and forth. The context is decent. You don't scalp out, and you got the 240 hitting your head on 240 SMA. Going back up, second attempt up here. Just sitting on my pause though. All right, ends up scalping out on that trap. The risk was so huge though. I mean, you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 points of risk if you were to take that trade. You could have came with a retracement here, and that would have reduced your risk by 1, 2, 3, 3.5 points. You could have taken that, you know, with a small retracement. But if I see a bar like this right after, a setup, this is not confidence, right? I would feel very disappointed if I saw a bar like this. So that's why I didn't want to enter with retracement, because when you got trap trade and the entry bar looks like this, the trigger bar, I'm just like, nah, skip it. Just skip it. Huh, how would I mark this? This just looks like congestion to me. Breakout, maybe fill breakout, come back in. Chewy, Panda, how do you know when you can apply for a payout? If you look at the Apex website, and I would say if you're asking that question, please do your due diligence, because if you don't know the answer to that, I feel like you have more things that you may not know. So I would say take some time to go through the Apex website. That's a frequently asked question. I think you can look it up. They probably have an article, and make sure you know all the rules, right? When you enter, when you're doing this, because it's your money, you know. It's your money, you know. You want to make sure you're doing it right. So yeah, it depends on what account you have. If you have, well, every account has a different threshold, and you got to hit the minimum account balance for that threshold, or sorry, for that account. So I think the minimum account for the for every account is the trailing threshold amount. So the trailing threshold for the 50K account is 2,500. That means that you need at least 2,500 in your account to be able to withdraw. The minimum withdrawal is $1,000, and the max withdrawal is, depending on which account, I think it's $2,000 for a 5K, and like 3,500 or something for the 300K, and everything between. So it's account specific, so you have to look that up. But yeah, so that's how you have to have the minimum account balance required according to the website. It's usually the threshold. I think for all of them it's a threshold amount, and yep, you have to be able to pull out at least $1,000. For me, like, it doesn't make sense if you pull out $1,000 on your account, right? If you like are just at the threshold, like the minimum, $2,600, let's say, on your account, like, would you pull out $1,000 and put your account down at 1,600? Like, I mean, if you're just trying to get quick, some quick money, then yeah. But if you want to have some long-term plan, then I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Too small. Second entry long, perhaps here. It's a triangle forming on the 5-minute chart. It's getting compressed here.
10,000 tick trap, 5-minute trap.
Trap, 10,000 tick chart just triggered above the 20 MA. I'll take that reversal. I'll take the trap up. I will take it. But notice a 240 SMA. Again, as we start to wedge, 240 SMA, this is when things get a little wonky. When these two moving averages start to wedge. Ooh, what's going on here? Triangle on the 2,000 tick chart. Breaking down this triangle currently. With L4 setup. Ooh, okay. What a push down. Trap on the 10,000 tick. Man, 10,000 tick chart trap. This is why I pay attention to traps on the higher time frames. Trap on the 5-minute as well. Scalps out. Perfect scalp on the 5-minute. 4-point scalp on the 5-minute chart. Huh. That is very interesting. Was not ready for that. Wasn't going to enter the trade. I was looking at the 2,000 tick chart, and I wasn't going to enter a trade on the 10,000 tick. We're back here. Retesting this demand zone. Double bottom potential here. all in all, I'm happy with my 300 today. Small, consistent gains every day. That's what you want. That is what you want. Richard Harris says, how much would you feel comfortable? Always, I just keep around 5,000 on all my accounts. So I would just withdraw up to the 5,000 point. Josiah up 18 points. Let's go, baby. Hey, congratulations. We do have news tomorrow, Pandas, and that's at 8:30. a.m. Eastern time. Got that double bottom off of here. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what market cycle we're in. It's hard to say for an uptrend, downtrend right now. Don't know. Don't know. Just don't know. It's confusing. Daily chart. What are we looking like here? I might just create an inside bar on a daily chart. Do not feel confident going short here. If you do go short, I'm just not with you in that one. It's a trap trade though. Context is just not there. I just see a double bottom here right now, like a retest. And for me, the going short here would be like going short right into supports. This setup looks nice though. If this was like a different setup, I might really take this trade. But right now, the context, the setup itself looks nice, but the context is not there for me. Like, you know, obviously have some sort of support here. We bounced off of this area two times, and we can actually reverse off of here. So I'm just waiting here. I'm just waiting. I don't know what's happening. Thoughts and prayers for those who took that short. You just got stopped out. I don't know who took the short, but the context was just not there. Thoughts and prayers to you. We got a second entry short here. Yeah. I'll take the trap trade to the long side. Give that to me, I'll take it. Break a trend, new low. Let's see here. Second entry short forming here. Four pushes down. H4 setup on 5-minute chart. You can see with this 4 here, we had 4 pushes down. And this triangle, I think, is still intact. Right, we still have this triangle on the 5-minute chart. Get a nice push up here. I'll take. Give me a fail second to short here. I will take it. I'll do it. Take it. Just watch. Just watch. Vampire's Panda, on this strategy, should we combine multi-frames or just stick to one? No, I mean, it really depends. Sometimes I take setups on the 5 minutes. Sometimes I take test setups on 10,000 tick. I like to look at those for just a bigger picture, especially if I'm very confused, right? Like if I'm like, are we in a downtrend or uptrend? If I look at the higher time frames, typically like, you know, say I'm going in and out of 20 MA on the 2,000 tick, but on the 10,000 tick chart, like we're clearly underneath the 20 MA, and we're building like a base underneath it. Then it's kind of like, all right, actually it looks bearish, like, but it's hard to tell in the smaller time frame. So it's kind of like helps you with that. The H4 does trigger on the 5 minute chart. I am still looking for a fail second entry short here. And the market says, not today, buy my money. We are going without you. We don't care if you're in this trade or not. We will just leave you in the dust. And it looks like it's going to go without me again. Just like this trade. Alright, we got that double bottom. Bouncing off a failed trap. Just no setup to really enter long here. If I had a fail second just short here, I would have taken it. But never got the setup. So what did I do? Nothing. That's what you do. You just do nothing. Just stare at this and just look at the market go the exact direction you thought it was gonna go. But you're not in it because you didn't get the setup. I might be a little salty right now. Feeling the tilt. Maybe that means I should just stay away. Don't trade. Gotta do that again. It didn't work. It didn't work. I don't know why this one, it doesn't like actually like, sometimes it kind of messes up. There it is. There it is. Yes. We do got the trap setting up here now. It's too far away from 20 MA. Second entry long will be better here at this point. It's just too far away from 20 MA. I can't take it. Just simply can't take it. Looks very bullish though. Again, looks very bullish. I need my setup. Bye money. Money I could have made. Just the setup's not there. Scalp's out for you, of course. That fails second entry short. Just wish it happened at a better place. You could have taken it based off this, right? Breakout retest of this pivot high. That could have been enough reason for you, but still a little too risky for me. I'm up 300. Why am I salty? I'm salty because I'm not getting any setups, but I'm calling all the direction. I'm calling the directions right, but I'm getting the market cycle right, but I don't have any setups. Super frustrating. Glenn Paul asks, what software do I use to overlay the panda face? What do you mean? It's not hardware, it's software. Or it's not software, it's hardware. It's my face. That's better than being red. It's true. It's true. I'm slightly tilted then. Tilted because I want to get in a trade, but there's no setups. All right, Panis. Tomorrow, 8:30 news AM. Make sure you're aware of that. If you're in a trade and all of a sudden you just realize all your accounts are busted, that's probably why. So just please be aware of that tomorrow. And it's pretty big news. Like, I think it's an account making news. It's a trade. It's a news that you can literally, if you enter the trade, and I do not do this with PA accounts, but if you're in an eval and you want to be aggressive, that's a trade that you can take. And I think you basically have a 50-50 chance. But I'm just saying, tomorrow 8:30, that's an account making trade, most likely. And yeah, so just please be aware. It might be some good news for you guys if you guys are trying to pass your evals and you're aggressive with it. So, Pandas, with that being said, hey, make sure you guys stick to the plan. Right? Trade safe, stick to the plan. If you're confused, just walk away. Just skip it. Just skip it. And I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. As always, 9 o'clock for the pre-market show, 9:15 for the mainstream. And as always, happy trading. God bless. Bye.